Okay, I think we're back finally. That was fun. I'll wait until I see some people come back in before I start telling you what's going on. Until then, I'm gonna try and diagnose this issue. So let's see. Line 120 in script. Something weird is going on with the release build, and I have no idea why. Yeah, that's really interesting. Record type enemy that receives object kind something. Maybe in enemy. I bet money I did something wrong. Spawn. Make enemy. So what happened was that I think whenever we try to set up QEMU to have OpenGL based hardware virtualization or hardware acceleration for graphics, and QEMU got stuck. You remember we tried to kill it a few times. Whenever I tried to run the release build of the game, I don't know if it's just because I ran the game or if I ran the release build of the game, but for some reason it conflicted with the running process, and it hung my Xwork session completely and immediately killed the stream. I don't know how that happened, but I was not actually able to get control back over the X section again. I had to hard reset my entire computer. So that's where we're at now. I had to hard reset. After I came back, I did try to run the release build, and I do see the same error that I was seeing on the other machine, which tells me that there's really a problem somewhere, and it's strange that it only shows up in the release build. I don't know why there. However, it makes me think there's another problem with uninitialized values. So record types. If I'm setting record types, I have a make function. Let's look into depths mesh compiler source object. We should always be setting the okay, so record type enemy. Make record field. Record accessor. Record type is record type. And what about instance? Instance has record type set. What could it be? Okay, maybe I should actually debug that. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build it again. Thanks, rprimus. Yeah, I think the no such file directory you're seeing is because you don't have the source of the game. Oh, no such file or directory. Weird that it's crashing there. Oh, also you gotta make sure you have the right dependencies installed, like glfw. Let's see. If you go look at the CI configuration in the Silent Siphon repo in the GitHub/workflows, I just need to add a list of these in the README, but there's a list of packages here. The libs that you see here, you probably want to get those installed to make sure that you have everything necessary. Aside from that, I'm not sure. That's the problem with using your own tools and everything, is that, you know, you end up running into trouble. Unexpected trouble when other people try to run it. Okay, so what I wanted to do is delete the dist folder. Then I'm going to rebuild. Let's try this. Tools, mesh, build, dist, config, debug. Then we're going to try that again. There's something definitely wrong there. Dist, silent, siphon. Okay. Let's run that now. Let's see what happens. All right, okay, so it's going to run for a second, and then eventually it's going to crash. And I think it only crashes when a drone shows up. Yeah. So let's run it again with GDB. All right. Runtime error. 1401. See, that doesn't make sense though. It's giving me runtime error, but it's happening somewhere else. It's happening in module load, I think. Now why did it crash? Segmentation fault. Let me actually check that out because something seems wrong to me about that. If I go into depths, mesh, compiler, source VM, and look at line 59. Ah, interesting. And 1401. I see. This is in load file. Now what I didn't know is that runtime error sort of depends on actual state in the running VM. So runtime error is wrong. I shouldn't be calling runtime error here. This is that's why it's crashing. Cannot load file due to compilation error. I think that is wrong. Compilation error. What would qualify as a compilation error? Because we're well past compilation at this point. So eval string. Let's see. Eval. If function is null, return interpret compile error. Well, that doesn't make sense. Compile error. Where else does that show up? Oh, well, that's not right. How did I do that? That should be runtime error. Bugs. Where's the other one I saw? It's right there. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely not compilation error. Maybe I should... Oh, you know what? That is a very good clue, actually. I should be calling something else here. So if not VM call value, so I'm guessing this is where it's coming from. This is returning the wrong thing, which is causing errors to precipitate elsewhere. So let's do this. Let's quit out of this, rebuild, run it again, see if this makes any difference. I was hoping to be working on game logic right now, but apparently we're working on getting it to work. But probably that's more important at this point. Having a finished game that somebody else can run is more important than flashy features. So, got to be pragmatic. GDB, silent, siphon, run. So if this doesn't crash... Okay, exited normally. That makes sense. So it exits. Does it panic? Okay, so compile and then run. So we don't get the VM runtime error anymore, but we did get that error that got written out. That must be what happened. Okay, so there's a runtime error. Yep. Okay, exactly. Now, there's something else happening somewhere else. So we're having this expected instance of record type enemy. So let's do that. I'm going to go back into VM. I think we're going to figure this out real quick. So expected instance of record type. And the line that I complained about was like 120 or something. Yeah, enemy shield. We're passing it enemy, car enemies. So here's what we'll do. I mean, I think the object is garbage, but I'm gonna force it to stop so we can take a look at what's in there. The error specifically was but received object kind. So it was an object, but it's just not passing the right instance in. So I think right here. So if I do a printf s and then pass 2 instead of a string, it always reliably causes things to crash for me. So that's my little devious plan to get the debugger to stop where I want it to. There's probably better ways to do that, but I have my way. So let's see what happens this time. That's weird. Okay. Backtrace. Call value. One argument. Line 682. Yeah, that's where we expected it to be. 1199. Yeah, we're calling the accessor. Now, since we're in the debugger, can I display, what is it? Possible instance? What is it? Can't remember the command. Help. Data. Nope. GDB get local variables. Info locals, okay. Info locals. What? Which context? Okay, let me go up one stack frame. Maybe that's what's happening. BT. And I want to go to frame 3. There we go. Value kind object number. No. Display possible instance object. Was it dot object? Possible instance is, okay, it's a value. Oh, instance that as that object dot kind. Yeah, whatever that is BS. So somehow we got a bad enemy object. So how's that even possible? Something got created. So possible instance, that would be, ugh, man. I really need a debugger in this language so I can see what the value stack is right at the point of this thing being called. VM stack peak 0. If not object. So it has value kind object, but the actual object is wrong. So where would that even come from? I wonder if it was gseed. And the funny thing is, it doesn't happen in the real dev build, basically. Doesn't seem to, anyway. I haven't tried it in a minute. Also, the occurrence of it is not very consistent. I thought it was when a certain type of enemy shows up, but it seems to be anytime, really. Maybe I should throw some print statements out. Let's do this. So enemy, it seems to be happening when enemies are spawning. So in main, spawn enemies. Let's do this. Go back to enemy. And then we're going to do display new enemies. Display new line. And then we're going to return new enemies. Just to see what happens here. See what happens. Unknown. Wow. Okay, so that's very strange. How could that happen? So the old enemy's still there. It's fine. So in enemy.msc, I wonder if I'm doing something else wrong. So this array nth of enemy spawners, I think we should break that down a little bit. So maybe I could do another let on the outside. And then random index. put that there. Uh-oh. Did I not just delete the thing? Okay. Random index, random index. Let's make sure that the random index is right. So it chooses the same spawner. Okay, so array nth. Gotta make sure that's actually returning a function. More nested let time. So spawn func. Spawn func. This is only happening because I don't have a let star right now. You lispers know what I'm talking about. Okay, so spawn func window. I also need to display the spawn func. Let's do this spawn func. All right, we'll do that. We'll just move this guy out. Then display spawn func. Okay, so it's maybe the second spawn it happens. So first one it calls spawn drone. Second one calls spawn drone, same function. So why is the second call busted? Whoa. Okay. Let's see. Spawn drone. What could possibly be going wrong here? Rand int. Make enemy. What if I just call spawn drone directly instead of doing the random? Let's see, what did I have as a, okay, spawn func. So, I'm going to take this little snippet here. I'll comment out this whole block. Paste that part in. Now I'm going to call spawn drone here. Just directly to see if it has anything to do with the spawn function. Wow. What the hell, man? Same problem. So what is it about calling spawn drone more than once that returns a bad object? Come on. I want to just get a look at the list. Okay, and then let's grab this. Oh, wow, what just happened? Grab this little slice here. Let's do that actually. Spawn drone. Is that legit? No. I think if I start deleting things here, it's going to totally wreck the entire file. Part of that begin, that's right. This is part of the if, that is the define. So what if I do this? Then that. Okay, that seems okay. But this needs to be part of... Yeah, okay, right there. Same result, but we'll see the output this time. Okay, the second one. What if I do... Come on now. What if I add 2? Every time. Is it a timing issue of some sort? Yeah, 2 worked that time. Wow, what happened? Hey, Alex. Oh, man. Not going well. We're trying to get the game running on another machine. Ubuntu machine. Had plenty of problems this morning trying to do that. And then also we got some weird bugs in the game that make no sense. Yeah, a bunch of unknown here, obviously. I wonder if there's something going on with the GC. Seems a very strange time for it to happen, but it's possible. So what I can do is go into, is it VM or is it mem? This is going to be fun. We'll turn on GC debugging. But I gotta... Which one do I need to do that on? On the compiler. Okay, so let me... RMRF, this is going to be... deps, mesh, compiler, bin, debug. Debug. Okay, so I got to clear that out to rebuild everything, and then I can do the build over again. And then we can run it. is going to make things run really slow. Wow, that was fast. Object is marked. If object is marked, segmentation fault. The object has an address, but it seems like a BS address. Something is holding on to a bad pointer. That's probably not the actual problem here, but it could be. So we're trying to make a string after the compiler has already... No, this is VM init before the compiler is run. So vm.c, line 84. So if object is null, return. If object is marked, mark object. Mark roots, mem mark roots, which is called in 290. Then mark values at 117, 155, right? Load paths. Huh. Object val VM load paths. That's really early. So VM init. And it's when we start getting, let's see. Yeah, I think I haven't initialized something. Load paths, okay. Here we go. So anything that's a root needs to be initialized before. All right, so let's do VM load paths. That should help with that problem. So what's happening here is that when you turn on this debug mode for the GC, it just makes any allocation cause a GC very, very aggressively, and then you will pretty quickly see problems appear. Okay, so I fixed that little issue. So is GC stress still on? Because if it is, that's freaking weird, man. Is it really GCing every time? Let me write something out. Collect garbage. Just to see. I want to see. I think we just heard this song, didn't we? Okay, it's collecting. So the funny thing about that is we don't have any real garbage collection issues. And the problem that we're seeing is not related to garbage collection, it seems, because we're not losing access to an object. So we're getting a bad object pointer some other way. So it must be uninitialized data somehow. Stop. That is so weird. So if I go back to enemy, I take out this double spawn. Hey, Fikri. So even the first spawn this time had a problem. That's so freaking weird. So Fikri asks, I never touched any C code in my life except DWM. Did you need to implement garbage collection manually? Yes. It was part of implementing this language mesh. we need a garbage collector for that. So I followed the instructions in a book I was reading called Crafting Interpreters, and it told me how to do it. So I have a garbage collector. Very interesting. So this is not caused by garbage collection. Let's go back to mem. Turn that flag back off. Come on now. Where is that RM? Yeah, right there. Yes, it is a lot of work, indeed. Okay, so we're going to run it again now without the GC spamming. But then again, the fact that it was unknown, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was. Because if it's immediately unknown, does that mean the object got cleaned up? Okay, we got to go back. I think it could be a GC problem after all. My tired brain is not letting me draw the proper inferences here. Okay, so let's do this again. If we always see unknown show up, then it very well could be a GC issue. That's so strange. So I can allocate other types like the bullets, but allocating an enemy gives me trouble somehow. I'm gonna start it again, and this time I'm gonna shoot a bunch of bullets right at the beginning. Something about allocating or creating enemies is causing problems. So could it be yeah. Just curious about this X value to see if it even prints anything. Okay, I mean, that seems like a reasonable value, so it's not that. So here's what I'll do also. Let's examine the enemy before it comes out to see if anything looks wrong with it. So here, I think, where is it? That one. Okay, wait, that's wrong. Okay, that's right. Let's see what this does. I'm starting to embrace the situation here. Better to figure it out. Okay, so, very weird. When we return it from this function... well, okay. I made a mistake here. I still need to return it after I'm doing all these displays. All right, let's try this again. Excuse me. Yeah, so something about... the enemy gets created correctly. It's all fine. But I think the const somehow gets corrupted. The car of the const. How is that even possible? This is going to boil down to there being something really dumb happening in my code. As usual. So let's go look at list.c. I'm so sorry. So const, where's the const function? Const, make cons. We also have a function for cons somewhere. Is that going to be in VM op cons? Yeah, okay. So val cutter, val car. Oh, you know what? I think this is bad. Bad implementation. I've never run across this before, but I could see why it'd be a problem. I'll tell you why. So first of all, with the garbage collection implementation, one of the important places that is checked for live objects is the value stack. The value stack is sort of like the temporary memory where values are placed for operations to execute. Here, I'm popping both the car and the cooter value off the stack before I allocate the new cons, which means that these are no longer being tracked by anything. And then I'm allocating something. So in this case where I am allocating a new object, I'm going to clean up anything that is not tracked. So these two objects are now not tracked anymore, which means just when I create the cons for this, these two objects might in fact now disappear. They might get collected. And in the past, the reason why we didn't see this is because the garbage collector waits for a while before it runs, because it has like a limit of allocations before it actually starts trying to collect garbage again. But right now I have this flag turned on where it automatically starts collecting garbage. So I think that we're just seeing it much more early in this case. So what I need to do to fix this is just move some things around a little bit. So here's what I'll do. I'll take this line, value cons equals, and then this needs to be a VM stack peak. Both of these need to be a VM stack peak, actually. So we'll say VM stack peak, peak. In fact, I can switch the order on these a little bit. Let me look at my peak calls. Okay, 0 is what I normally use. So 1 and 0, since they're in reverse order, basically. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the case. Otherwise, I'm going to have some backwards lists in a moment. Let me just double check my thinking on that. Yeah, okay, that's right. So that's car and cooter. That's only peaking. It's not popping now. Now I'm allocating this const, so all these things should be retained. Now the new const that I'm adding should be retained. But before I push this onto the stack, I need to pop the other two things off. So I'm just going to call pop twice here. So pop. So pop the car and cooter values off of the stack and push the cons. So mesh VM stack push VM cons. All right. So let's see what this does. This might actually fix the problem. I hope it does. And there it is. All good. All right. So now we can get back to testing things normally again. Let me check that little fix in because we're going to need it in CI. We'll take that header out. We need that fix also. This can go away. Check that in. Need to check that in too because that was a bug. That was a bug. VM. Fix a GC collection. Well, let's see. Fix the allocation order of const pairs to solve GC issue. All right. Yeah, this is definitely a great way to push the language, this whole experience. All right, so now, what do I do next? Let me do a full release build. Let me do this too before I go too far. I don't want to have to hit this GC thing. Oh, I need to go back to enemy. And, well, let's run it successfully one time first before I do that. So rmrf dist. Now we're going to run tools mesh build dist config release. Do another little release build here. Go into the dist folder, silent siphon. Let's see if it continues to run whenever new enemies get spawned. We don't see that one. Okay, yeah. All right. All good. Now, I'll go back and just undo all this stuff. In fact, I could probably just undo everything. Yep, so that and this. So let's just undo. Wait. Hold on. There's one change in this file that I want. That shield 20. Let's fix this really quickly. Take that out. I think that puts it back to normal, and then this can go away, this can go away, and this can go away. Okay, I think we're good on that one. And then this whole block can be raised. Okay, there we go. Now let's run it one more time and make sure that, whoops. Make sure that it actually spawns different enemy types. Okay, so there's drones. All right, cool, slider. Okay, so what do we need to check in here? Increase drone health to 20. This will also check in. Main, make it possible to restart game after death. And we had started working on this input file, but we never got anywhere with it. So we should probably get back to that now. Okay, and we're not really using it yet, but we'll get there. So let's just do one last test and see if what I just pushed to the repo is runnable. Wait for this to build. And if it works this time for me, at least, I might put some instructions on the README real quick in case anybody else wants to try it. Just trying to pull this up on the other computer. All right, got some artifacts coming up. Okay, here we are. So I still have the issue where, for me, nothing is rendering to the screen with the game on this computer. I have no idea why. But it's not crashing anymore, so the fact that it's not rendering is a very strange thing. trying to think of why that would be the case. I get no errors at all. But it's just running. As far as I can tell. So maybe if I open up sudo apt install vim, I just want to put a a line printing in there. Just to tell that it's actually rendering something, even though I don't see it. So vim modules siphon main. And then in render, display, rendering. Okay, now I'll run it again. Yeah, it's in the render function. It's just nothing's showing up at the screen. That's so weird. All right, so let's see. GLFW Ubuntu black screen. There we go. I wonder, oh, you know what? I bet. Is this an issue with not having the right OpenGL version? It says OpenGL version 4.6 loaded, as if it loaded it. Hmm. Okay, copy the wrong DLL, okay. So I wonder if it does have something to do with the OpenGL version. Where am I setting that? We're gonna go into, come on. Depths, Substratic, Engine, Source, Renderer, OpenGL. Was it a window maybe? Window.c, OpenGL, Profile. Oh, Core Profile. Forward Compat. Let me check that out. Maybe Core Profile is wrong. So GLFW Profile. Core. Forward compatible profile. Window hint. Supported values. Compat profile. Let's try this. Ubuntu black screen. Hmm. Well, that's not what I'm doing. And what is this forward compat? Is that... Before creating an OpenGL context of 3.2 or later, you must set OpenGL forward compat and OpenGL profile hits accordingly. The weird thing is it acts like it can do it. I'm not getting any complaints, but it's not rendering anything. No complaints, no crashes. Core contexts require a vertex array object to be bound before rendering anything. Well, I have one of those. Okay. These are all, you know, basic things. Is there a forum for GLFW? Community? Let me check what they're doing here. Make context current. I wonder if I'm missing that somewhere. Renderer, make. Okay, I have that. Render loop, swap buffers, poll events. I'm also swapping. Let's see, swap buffers happening in swap buffers, and I'm calling swap buffers where? Probably in modules, substratic, engine, swap. Yeah, I'm calling my render func, and then I'm calling render swap buffers. That's basically it. What did I just do? Oh, I killed Firefox by accident. Strange. Okay, Ubuntu OpenGL core diagnosing black screen. Who knows? Maybe I should install like GLX gears or something. Ubuntu GLX gears. Let's just see if anything with GL works. Mesa utils. Okay, so that works. OpenGL version 4.6. Compatibility profile. What's the difference? For all functionality deprecated and the requested version is removed, this must only be used if the requested OpenGL version is 3.0 or above. Okay. Oh, come on, dude. Didn't type that right. Okay, so we could try that and see if that helps. So if I go put it into compatibility mode, because core profile, let's put it on or maybe any profile, I don't know. Because I could be causing myself problems with that specific line. Go to window, I wonder if it's set to that by default and I don't even need to set it. Forward compat's already turned on. Well, what if I turn it off? Okay, what is the compat profile? Who the hell knows? Let's just turn this part off. This actually sounds like the reverse of what we want. All right, so window, turn off GLFW, what is it called? OpenGL. We'll try this, see what happens. Oh. So our Primus says to get rid of the core profile line. You might be right. Let me actually try that on my local machine. Let's get rid of that, like you said. And we'll try to run it again. So I'm going to just use the normal compilation buffer for this. Compile. That seems good. Okay, so it still runs for me, which is great. And what did we change? We must have changed... I'm going to try this build first, and then I'll try one without the core profile thing. Did I push that? Maybe I didn't push it. I did push it. Why did it not? Ah, that's a substratic push. Okay. All right, let's. What I'm going to do is go rerun the latest CI job for Silent Siphon. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Tweak tool. All right. Tab just crashed. Come on. All right, time to download this build. Go into the shell. I'm going to download the non-debug one. And then unzip. Okay, so that didn't help. Now, the one thing I did was turn off the forward compat, but I don't think that actually did anything. So maybe the core profile is the one that's going to make the difference. I mean, I guess I should just like clone the code of this machine and try to build it myself without having to wait for CI and all that, right? The question is, what's faster at this point? Okay, let's try turning off both of these. Let's just take whatever the defaults are. GLFW OpenGL profile. So does it tell me what it uses by default? Below okay, is that say the default value? Okay, and then also for forward compat is false. All right, so that's what we'll do. We'll just let it be the default values. Window use default values for OpenGL profile. Okay, now I'm gonna go run the game build one more time. Hopefully this is gonna help out. If it doesn't, I have no idea what else to do. Because we are doing everything else more or less correct. I would say if it doesn't work, I'm gonna put that on hold, and I might mess with it a little bit when I'm off stream around lunchtime, just to see if I can get the code to build on this other computer and try a couple things. Because I don't want to waste more time on this on the stream. I've already like spent this entire stream, 2 streams today, diagnosing issues. But you know, it's all important stuff that would keep the game from running for anyone else but me. So kind of needed to happen. All right, building, uploading. Here we go, finished. Oh, let's see. All right, I'm gonna download this file. Okay. Still not rendering. I am so confused. Okay. That's really annoying. I'm just gonna go and try to build the code on here. Mesh lang CLI github.com. I need to download a build of the build tool. Okay. Then unzip downloads mesh into tools. Where's the output folder? Okay, ls. Cool. Build main config dev. All right, we'll see if this works. Oh, I forgot to sudo apt install build essential. Okay, that's gonna take a minute. Last CI run was 23 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm rerunning the same one, so it seems like it's the same, but actually it's a new run that should have replaced the files. But then again, now that I think about it, I wonder if it does replace those files. Huh. Doesn't tell me how long ago it was. But I'm going to try running it on my local machine to see if it works. Or, sorry, building it on this local machine. I just cloned the code and everything else, so it might take just a second, but then I'll be able to run it. Hey, Robert. Oh, boy. What a day. Okay, compiled all the code. Now let's see if we can run bin dev silent siphon. No rendering. All right, well, at least I have a starting point for taking a look at this on this machine later. Or now, I don't know. This is one of those problems you get obsessed with and you can't let it go. Because it seems like it should just work, right? Wonder if I don't. What happens if I just don't clear the window? No. Main. Modules main. Clear. Same output. It's got to be something with the Windows setup for sure. Oops, what was that? Maybe if I use an older version of OpenGL potentially. So if I go into depths, substratic engine source window.c, and I change it to, well, let's just turn off the window hint for the OpenGL versions. Who knows? Like maybe something there is going wrong. Man, it just doesn't make any sense. No rendering. I sure that actually happened? I don't get any complaints. No errors, no nothing. I wonder if it could even be something completely unrelated that I hadn't even considered. Free C says, debugging the compiler and engine is part of what makes the stream fascinating. Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Our Primus says, other Stack Overflow response suggested glue experimental true. Well, I'm not using glue on this. I'm using Glad, which is another thing. Thing is, I would expect Glad to tell me if it had a problem loading OpenGL. None of the code should work. So let's see. Okay. Glad, Ubuntu, OpenGL, black screen. Let me check the Glad OpenGL docs. Maybe I can get something that gives me more debug output. Yeah, it would have told me something because in the code in window Glad. Renderer. All right, there we go. So yeah, it would have panicked if it couldn't have initialized actual OpenGL. If it couldn't actually find the libraries. Glad load GL. Come on. Okay. Get proc address. Yeah. Okay. And I'm printing the version right after that, so everything's fine. Everything should have been loaded correctly. Okay. So GL loads correctly, but I don't see anything on the screen. No errors come from executing rendering functions. GLFW documentation. Maybe they have some other information about how it can be diagnosed. Or compat true. Core profile. And this was for... didn't I have some extra code in here for macOS? Yeah, Apple. For compat true. Because I wasn't sure if it was needed or not. All right, let me try another combination of things. So, we're going to look at window.c. I'll turn on core profile, but I'll leave the forward compat thing off. Oh, what happened? Could not create OpenGL window. Context profiles are only defined for OpenGL version 3.2 and above. Interesting. So, I mean, that had an impact, at least. So if I were to go and ask for OpenGL 4.5, build, run, still no output. Excuse me. It creates the window successfully. But no rendering. Is there something I was doing twice somewhere? And how can I make the window resizable? I need the window guide. Resize. That's actually interesting. One thing that I have not seen I think that could be it. Okay, so when you run the game on this machine, you'll see that there's a couple window size changed events that pop here, but I don't see that at all on the other machine. I think what's happening is that I have code that expects that to happen, and it's not happening on this machine because I have a window manager that respects the size that I told it. So what am I doing in that size changed handler? Window size update. Window size update. Size callback. Window size update. I think I should just invoke that. Renderer init. Where's all this happening? So I just straight up call. I create the window. Renderer create. Okay, so in here, I need to call it. Set window size callback. So I just need to invoke that the first time, I think. I hope that's right. After loading OpenGL, the window should be open. So if I were to do this, window size callback. Should be doing this on the other computer actually, but GLFW window and the width and height. There's a size update function too. What does that one call? That one calls size update. So if I call size update, with the renderer and the window width and height. Actually, don't do that. Because it's going to change the values. Or maybe it doesn't even matter what I pass in there. Because it's immediately going in window size update. Window size update. Because it immediately just goes and calls get frame buffer size. So I don't even know why I take parameters. I might change that. Okay, I got a good feeling this is going to fix it. So let's go to the other computer really quickly and put the same line in window size update. That's in renderer create. Ah. Okay. Haha, it works. It works. You can't see it right now, but it actually does work when I fix that. Okay, so some of those things I was doing aren't necessary. Okay, cool. 60 frames per second too. Excellent. So that's the fix. I also think those parameters are BS. So run the initial size update. We're going to run it on this machine too, just to make sure that it's not bad. Size update. We're going to move these to right here. And I think I can do this too. And then that. Recompile. Okay, still works for me. The game looks very different on the other machine. I think everything's like huge. So I need some scaling work happening here. Okay, so when I check this in and push an update to the game, the download there should now work, I hope, on other people's machines with the right dependencies installed. So let me do two things first. Update the window size after initializing renderer. Okay. Wait, what just happened? Oh, yeah. Okay, I want that there. And also in the README. Okay, let's move something out of the way. You can try out development builds of the game by downloading on Linux. Let's kill a bunch of these windows, don't need them anymore. Actually, we do need that one. Is there a way to get a link directly to the latest run? Actions runs latest. No. And then I'll grab this line. So I don't need... Well, I don't know which of these things I do or don't need. Our premise says, how about making the latest package available? I do want to do that, and what I want to do is push actual releases to the repo from, well, I guess I could do that. That would be easier to find. Don't need package config. You just need glfw. You don't even need the development packages for these. I think you should just need the regular packages. Shouldn't need font config itself, only the lib. Mesa utils, I'm not so sure. Ubuntu Mesa utils. Can you tell me what it has in it? libgl1, vendor neutral GL dispatch library, legacy GL support. Okay, that doesn't sound good. Legacy? Probably right though. libgl1. I'm guessing it's already installed on Ubuntu though. Install libgl Ubuntu. Mesa utils libgl. Oh, okay. Let me see. Mesa glx. Let me check that out. Ah, okay. That seems correct. This glx Mesa. Okay, I like that. Thank you. And also Mesa utils. Let's just keep it in there. I mean, can't hurt. Lib font config. glfw3. zlib. And I think that's it. Really, I mean... So I'll go ahead and check that in. But then I can try to work on the release build. And that should kick off a new build that you can try as a result of what I just did. The fix I just put in. Hopefully that does work. Backdrop is giving me trouble again. It's on this side. All right. For the... Let's see. GitHub Actions create release. There's an official one somewhere. Okay. I see. One of these I've used before. I can't remember which one. Let's do the thing that people shouldn't do and look at the number of stars to determine which one is the right one to use. All right, so all those. I think this one seems to be the most starred. You know, this one looks familiar, actually. The Action GH release. Limit releases to pushes to tags. I like that. All right, so maybe... in the ci.yaml. Where is it? Oh, I don't have it open. .github workflows ci.yaml. Build artifact. I mean, this really isn't necessary if I do the other thing, so I can just take that out for now. So for the release, I actually want to zip up the dist folder myself. Let's see, zip, let's see, Linux create zip from directory. -R, okay, zip command with -R. Output file folder 1, folder 2. I want the contents. We can try that out and see what happens. Zip -R dist star. And I need the output file first. Silent siphon linux.zip. And that should be good. And then this thing, I can take that tag part off for now. But then what do I pass into the release stuff? Where did I do that? I had something where I was, oh, right. That was the system crafters. Not Rational Emacs, it's Geeks Installer. I think that's where I was using that. Yeah, soft props. So name. Not, wait, what? With, okay, with, name. I don't want tags yet. Name, silent, siphon. What should I call this even? Actually, tag name I do want. Dev build. Body path, release notes, files. Okay, files needs to be silent siphon linux.zip. We can leave that out for now. So yeah, create an actual release for the dev build. Let's see what this does. The fun thing about trying things on CI is you have to wait for it to run every time. Hopefully this works. Hey, seems like it might have worked. Sweet. Right, that seems too small. That can't be right. Let's see if I can download that. That probably didn't go to the right place. Let's download that to the downloads folder. What is this freaking folder path? Just put it where it belongs. All right, so silent. Let's use Z to unzip that. Dist, assets, modules. Okay. Why didn't it grab the binary? That explains why it's smaller. Let's see. Do we get any output from the command? Adding. Oh, hold on. It failed to build. Renderer failed to compile. Ah, haha. Okay. Slight bug. Let's go back. So we know it'll work as soon as I fix it. I need to go to LD, excuse me. And then depths, substratic, engine, source. I think it's a different file. What is it? Render.c49. So render.c line 49. Yeah, gotta fix that. Because it's totally irrelevant. Yep, okay. Okay, so now I'm going to rerun all jobs here. Now the question is, once this is done, will it replace the existing release for dev? Look at that. We got the dev build right here. Nice. That's pretty dope. At least by doing this, I'll have something to submit, regardless of whether it's good or not. If I can submit a link to say, here, this is where you download the game, you can try it out and see if it runs, then that's good enough for me. This whole downloading muscle step is a waste of time. I really need to take that out. That's something I need to fix in mesh build. Okay, release build. Looks like it compiled this time, I think. Let's check it out. Okay, that looks more likely to be right. So releases tag dev. I think I can, yeah, I can, okay, great. Like you can just get a link directly to it. You don't even have to look around. So releases download dev silent siphon linux.zip. I'm trying it on the other computer real quick. And where did it put it? Uh-huh. Okay. So let's take those and this and delete them. Oh, it added the dist folder. Okay, I can fix that. Export or extract. Now if I go into console cd downloads, Downloads. Silent dist. Great. So the plus X stays on it. Oh, it runs. Fantastic. All right. Fantastic. All right, good. Looking great. Now, one thing I want to fix that's annoying me at the moment is let's go into font, face has, yeah, I want to get this log out of here. I just don't want to see that every time the game starts up. The OpenGL version thing is okay, I think, for diagnostic purposes. Font, don't mention the loaded font face. And what else? There was something else I just had in my mind. We can go to readme.org. GitHub.com/flux harmonic / what was it? Oh yeah, that was it. I needed to fix the dist folder. LD50 silent siphon. Releases, downloads, dev, silent siphon, linux.zip. Yikes. Okay, let me just make that a link instead. Come on now. Hey, Eider. Let's see. Try it out. Or downloading. Okay, there we go. Linux. All right, that's good enough. Improve game build download instructions. Now let's see. I want to check releases. Yeah, so it only has the latest release. I actually like that because I don't care about the old builds hanging around. So we just call it dev and it's done. What else did I want to do? I wanted to make sure that dist folder didn't show up. So I think I actually have to go into dist, which is fine. Yeah, okay, so let's go into ci.yaml. I have to cd into dist. Then zip r ... star. Then cd ... I think. CI, don't include dist folder in release zip. Pretty sure that's going to fix it. I feel like I've dealt with this issue multiple times before. Let's see. R Prime has sent me a message. GLFW error. GLX failed to create context. Bad value. Huh. Weird. Parameter out of range for operation. I wonder... which parameter is referring to? Great context, bad value. Is it possible that the OpenGL version you have on your computer is older than 4.5? Maybe it's an older version issue. If you have GLX Gears, if you run GLX Gears -info, it will tell you what version of OpenGL it's running. GLX Gears comes with a Mesa Utils package on Ubuntu. All right, so let me check that it put the files in the right place. Hey, it looks right. Now, if I go download it, 11 minutes ago, does it update things? Oh, you know what? I bet I need to tell it to replace existing. Or not explicitly set. There's already existing release for tag. Retain its original info. Don't include this folder. So this description doesn't sound right. And it's not 12 minutes ago. Let me see if there was an error of some sort. Oh. Oh, okay. So it doesn't explicitly update the details. I don't like the fact that it reports the wrong time for that asset. But maybe I should just put that into the body. So if I download the asset, then maybe it will have the right contents. Nope. Once again, wrong place. Save link as. Home. Downloads. I'm going to put it here. Replace it, yes. Okay. Then we're going to go into downloads. Delete this folder. All. Yes. Silent. Unzip. Yes. Okay. Looks good. I'm pretty happy with that. All right. I'm going to try the latest build one last time on my machine here, just to make sure everything's good. And this is what now? Okay. Let me rename it. All right. Hey, I can just double click on it and it starts right up. Good. Okay. It's working, at least on my computer. So I'm hoping that will be representative of usual computers, because that was basically an Ubuntu system that I had not even really set up yet. It was something I set up for another reason, and I just never used it. So I just installed the dependencies, and it worked. So maybe if you try it and you have problems, you should probably make sure your system's up to date. Org. Troubleshooting. If you have issues running the game, first try updating your system in case libraries are out of date. If you still run into trouble, please file an issue. So https github.com/flux harmonic /ld50 silent siphon issues. Is that right? Yep. And I'll also go check that README and make sure that the link that I have here is going to work. So if I click this, not found. Good job. What was the actual link? Releases download, not downloads. All right, let's fix that. Fix download link and add troubleshooting. Okay, take another look. All right, cool. It downloaded it. And then the issue link, boom. There we go. Okay, folks, I think I'm going to take a break for lunch, and I should be back in about an hour and a half, I would say. Like yesterday, around 1 o'clock my time. So when we get back, finally, we'll be able to get back to actually working on the game again. So I don't know how far we'll get as far as, like, you know, prettying up the game is concerned, but we will at least try to get all of the game logic implemented to make the game play the way it's supposed to, and then we'll see what else we can add before time's up. I'm at the end of the afternoon stream. I won't have much time left in the day to work on the game, so I might just sort of consider it done and maybe tweak it a little bit more at night if I have time, and then in the morning is basically the time when it's due. So I don't really have much time other than that, so we're going to do what we can in the afternoon stream and see how far we can get, and then it'll be what it is. So if you get a chance, please try the build. Go check out the README on the repo, and let me know if you have any luck with it. I'd be very interested to hear about whether it works for you or if it doesn't work for you. And then I'll see you back here at 1 o'clock my time, about an hour and a half from now. So thanks all for being here. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you in a little while. Keep creative. And once again, have to hunt for the bye-bye screen. See ya.